What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Thursday Night Airbrush Down and Dirty Tricks. We are ready to rock and roll. We are on time. I think we got good sound. We got good video. I think we're rocking and rolling. So hopefully everything stays good. We are recording. We are live. And I think we're all good. So hope everyone's having a great week. Thank you all for popping in. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Share this thing. We're going to try to get as much done on this tonight as we can. If not, wrap it up entirely. Tall order. If you caught some of the shorts earlier, I did a little preliminary work on it just to get it going. There was a lot of tedious work, and I'll go over that. I did record it, do some time lapse, because I'll put this together in a video down the road as well. So, yeah, I think we're good. Who we got in the house here? We got Michael McClung, Gary Shees, Michael Cohen, Big Mountain Customs, what's happening? Don Wilbur. Mike Gillette, Grumpy RC, Amos Mendez just popping in. Awesome, awesome. Thank you all for coming in. All right, let's see what we got going on here. So if you remember, this was the subject matter. We are doing what's called a Servo Skull. I'm sure there's a bunch of other names for it that I'm still learning about. So this is part of the 40K Warhammer universe from Games Workshop. I've always dug how these things look. They're really cool. There's so many variations of them that people have created. Mike Manning, what's happening? So I just wanted to do my own. Wanted to do my own version. And yeah, I explained most of that last week when I started. Let me show you where I'm at. This is our paper. So this is what's under here. Okay, all these lines is all plotted out. The skull, I've done a bunch of videos, is a paper cut. So paper cut that, stencil for reference, just hand cut it. We'll talk about the fold method and paper cut method. I've actually done some of these on my laser cutter as well, so I'm working with that. Yeah, so I got these, this, and this is where we're at. Let me see. The lighting on this one is pretty dark, so we're gonna up this one here. There we go. There we go. That's better. How about that? That's too bright. I think that's good. So that's what we got going on. As you can see, the reflective nature of this copper panel, or aluminum panel that's anodized, really pops. So when this is done and cleared, you're going to see all the aquila that's been laser etched in here in the background, underneath all grit and grime. And we're going to talk about this. Why I did this off camera. And I am glad I did. What I determined that if you're going to do this project or project like it, if you're going to use these hoses, you should really go about twice the size. Or just do what I just did. Do a regular tube and then just go in and score the lines like that. Because these were a nightmare to pick and weed. I actually had to replot this one because it fell apart on me. It was a lot, so I was swearing It was not good. Mike, that's cool. The current bid on it is $400. Started last week. That's still not hitting reserve of what this is going to be. So this is a lot of work. This is a lot of time, a lot of design. This is probably going to have about 10 to 12 hours of work in it total by the time I'm done. Yeah, so, but I appreciate the bid. Thank you. We took bids on it the other night when we started. Hey, Brett. So, yeah, that's where we're at. So, I did these off camera. And the reason I did them because it was a lot of watching me go click, 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 pick, 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 and do all layering. So, I recorded it. I did some time lapse. So, I'll bring this up. It wasn't even... I was going to leave one tube to do on camera. And it's so tedious. You'd spend like 10 minutes, 15 minutes just watching me do a tube. And it's just not... I've done these tubes before, so I think that's enough. Or I can do a small demo of it at another time. I just dropped one of my... Hold on a second, need this. Yeah. I appreciate you trying, sir. So, we're doing some racing techniques. I'm going to bring... I'm going to see if I can do a side-by-side. I think this might show... I want to see if I can get this one a little brighter. Sorry, just trying different adjustments here. Yeah, that was not charged. Just trying some different camera settings. Sorry about that. There we go. No, that's not going to work either. Nope. Yeah, let's see if I could try a different camera angle. And I'm not getting anything I want here. Just getting darker. Alright, so that angle is what it is. What I need is another light. I don't have one from that angle. So... I can do that. Michael Manning, thank you very much. I'm going to forego the blue background light so I can get some more natural light in here, and we'll go from there. Because I want to be able to focus this up. There we go. Alright, that's a little better. That's a little better. Mike Manning, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, colors. We talked about colors last week. That's what we're using. So I'm using the Espresso Shot Candy. That's a mixture of 3 parts Grabber Orange, 2 parts Dirt Track Brown, 1 part black. And then the Dirty Petty Candy is 3 parts Grabber Orange to 1 part Dirt Track Brown. Spelt that wrong. And then once you mix those together, then you do the 1-to-1 mix into the 40-50. And then I did a darker version where I added black. More black. I did like a 1-to-1 black candy in that Espresso Shot mix for a darker variation. And those are from last week. They're mixed up in these. So let's get cracking here. And I'm going to show you how I did this guy. So I'm doing this, and what I would do, I think, which will probably be easier, let's bring this camera in and move. I need to get one of those automatic kind of heads. See how that move. Good. How's that? You can see that good? Let me go full screen on there because there's a lot of little stuff going on in here. I'm really trying to get as much light as I can on this. I'm trying to get that nice and focused in. So probably a little too much light. See, this is what you don't see that happens when people aren't doing it live. Do candies behave different on copper? No, not really. The caveats to work on copper is because you're working on a metal and you don't have any paint, it can scratch a lot easier. You can scratch it off a lot easier, especially until it's really cured. Like, it holds... Once it's like cured, it's fine. But you know how you have the erasability of some of the colors? You don't have that as... You have that longer, and it's really delicate. Like, I wouldn't go direct on copper with just a regular color. You gotta have... The Wicked Opaques will work too, but the candies, because it's mostly 40-50, you gotta get a good bite to it. So yeah. Alright, so let's get moving on this because there's a lot to do in a short amount of time. Alright, so we're working on this right here. And what I got to do is I got to look at what the basic procedure, the order of operation. So basically, I'm looking at this is below this. This is catching light, so it's lighter than this. So I'm going to go there, here. I'm going to skip this. I'm going to go under here because that's beneath this. I'm going to pull the whole... Then I'm going to pull this whole area, and then I'm going to drop shadow that. And that's the plan. And I'm glad I did this one ahead of time for that reason. Okay? Just because it's a lot better. I've walked through it. Nope. Oh. Nope. Just trying for extra lights. Oh. I know. There's some extra light. I found one. Alright, how's that? It's a little shaky. Moving around too much. A lot of setup in this one tonight, kids. But projects like this are like that. These aren't super quick to do. They do take a lot of work, and that's why they're not cheap. And that's something when you're working with clients, it's hard to explain that. But when you have some work to go by, it's a little easier. All right, so let's get moving here. We're going to work up the chain. So I'm going to pull that, and now you can notice that's the pure color, so that's as bright as everything can go. And so I'm going to work primarily with my Dirty Penny, and then I'll come in this is really small. I'm going to use microns on everything on this one, I think. If both are clean. Yeah. So we got one with that. What metallic paints did you use? No metallics. This is all done with candies over an anodized copper panel. So it's aluminum panel that's been anodized copper color. So there's no base coat here. This is direct on the copper. So that flash you're seeing is the actual metal. Okay, that reflective quality. So it's like basically painting on top of a copper plate. Same type of thing. Yeah, I think this angle is much better. Alright, so from here, now we're just doing the standard core shadow. So I'm going to start here. And the shadows go more towards that side. And then I'm going to make sure I heavily drop shadow underneath. Now the nice thing about it with candies is I can come in with an eraser, like an eraser stick. This is a hard one. This is one of the ones I got from Drew Blair. This is an old Venus one. These are really, really rigid. And that's going to do a sharp highlight. See that? I've just popped it out. If I want to do on this side, I can just do little ones. Really simple. The paint's still really malleable at that point. But remember, I don't want to take too much off because then it's going to get too monotone. It's not going to have that volume. It's not going to have the depth. I got to keep in mind the right amount of contrast. Same thing here. I'm going to shadow on this side because that's the shadow side. And then another core highlight, core shadow right there, which is a reflection. If you look at your chrome, you're going to see that the whole time anyway. Right? You can see the chrome. You can see those reflections. So the panel is, the copper panel is 12 by 17. Or 12 by 16. No, 12 by 17. And then it's got an extra half-inch surround of black aluminum. So it's actually double stacked. So you can see it's been this plate, and then this copper plate's been bonded. We'll do a refresher from last week. Let me cue that up here. A second. Okay, I'm going to cue this up. This was from last week. This is the video of me prepping the panel. So you can see what went into it. So this is what I did. Oh, no, that's the wrong video. Sorry, guys. Oh, I know where it is. Sorry. It was on the iPad. Wrong display. Sorry. I'll go here. And now, this is a metal panel. I took the copper after I scuffed it all, and I bonded it to the metal panel. Hey, Dan. Clamped it down, let it sit for the afternoon, pulled it apart. And then I imported the Aquila design, the pattern, and I laser engraved it into the copper panel. And then I went around and did a surround, like a cut. Then I cut the masking. This is the masking. Picked and weeded it. Put it to the board. Got it all lined up. And we started painting it last week. And then we are where we are right now. So yeah, that's how we ended up last week. And now we are back to here. So, but now I'm just going to work my way through it. And then we're going to hopefully work up here, work around the top. Actually, I got to get some texture in here. There we go. Okay. All right, so now you can see I did that, and it's got that nice radius. Now I'm going to pull it inside here. And this is what I mean when I talk about sequential masking. I am going into a certain sequence of unmasking, so I very rarely have to remask. It's a really efficient way to work. It's a great way to work with candies because you can really this one's like impossible to see. I'm going to scratch off some paint here because I can't see. It's the only problem sometimes, especially with all this light. It was easier today when I was here alone because I could see everything. I'm going to move this light. No, can't see it. No, can't see it. You're gone. Sorry. Alright. Can't even see the cut. There it is. Whew. So there's a little, like a little grommet hole there that this wire goes in. So I gotta hit that. So this, like I said, it's a very tedious project when you really get down to it. Now I can pull the leg. The more you'll keep watching, the more you'll understand what I'm doing. Lindsay, what's happening? You know, basically, I'm just working in a reverse order so the masking comes off properly. And I don't have to remask. So I'm working from the background to the foreground. So if you look at this side, I'm going to shadow here. I'm going to come down here, do another core reflection line. There you go. That was with the. That was actually with the espresso. I should have been starting here, but it's fine. They're stacking, so it's going to be all right. Now I can kind of work that and just shade it. And mostly erasing, I'll come in later. But as you can see right now, if I want to get a highlight, I can just come in and just hit that edge. And I can, this would give me a soft edge. And I can pull this tube. So now you can see how that goes in. These are so minor that, yeah, I'll spend some time here. But this all just kind of works into the grand scheme of the project. It's all little details. But I can come down in here. And then when I pull this piece of masking, this is the flat plane that's pointing up. Now you get the direct reflection down. See? I want to try something. Is it candy or translucent? That will always be see-through no matter how many. Well, both. Candy is a translucent paint. So no matter what, light will always go through it. At a certain point, it'll max out. If you put enough in it, you probably won't see through it. But you'd have to go like 10, 12, 15 layers, and that would just be ridiculous. But it'll always let light through. I'm going to try putting a macro lens on my 3/4 camera. I haven't used this in here yet. We're going to see if we can do it. Ooh. Or it just might be too far away. Let's see. Nah. It's okay. I think this will be good when I get to this area. I think this lens will be really good because I can get in like really close. Focus. Yeah, it's good on that angle. Well, it's not really a saturation point. Like, candy is basically, think of candy as a dye. Candy is transparent fully. It's fully transparent. Translucent you can use because it will allow light to come back through, especially on a metal panel like this. Candy allows the light to go through its layers, hit the metal surface or base color, be it a metallic, and then reflect back through it and it's like putting a piece of acetate. Or if you've done any lighting work, it's like putting it's like putting a gel cell over a light, basically. Yeah, so we're gonna back off that. Kind of the easiest way to explain it. So it's dye. So like I said, it allows light to come through. Whereas a transparent color will eventually, like candy red. When you look at candy red in a bottle, this is candy orange. It's almost black. So if you put enough of it, it'll just get to that oversaturated, like completely dark black. It won't keep staying orange. It'll keep getting tinted darker and darker and darker and darker and darker after a certain point. So if I keep layering this, it'll go almost to a full black when it's done. Or like whatever this looks like. Is the best way to explain it. Okay. I can't wait until I can... Yeah, no, once you can start plotting your stuff, man, it makes things a lot easier. Okay, so we got that done. Now we're going to get up into the next area, which is right here. Where is... Come on. I really want to get a better camera angle of this, and I'm really trying. That's really putting this behind. I'm sorry. Alright, here's where it is. Trying to find what's going on. This sits in the box, man. Get that thing open. Plug it in. Play around. Do basic stuff. Don't try to... Look, a lot of guys try to get in. They start doing crazy stuff like this right off the bat. Give yourself a little break. Give yourself a little time. Because, you know, just do some simple shapes. Checkers, stars, American flag stuff. That's where you want to start out. That's gonna help you the most. Just keep it simple. Don't try to go in and do one of these right off the bat. Alright, so I'm going to work in this area because I got to get in this big area so you guys can see what's happening. Like, this is a very technical paint job. That's why it's not a how-to, really, other than you hang out, watch me paint, and you'll kind of see the process. Damn, what's going on, man? This is pretty much about as advanced masking as you're probably ever going to get. But you'll start to notice I'm just working up each layer. And just shading as I go. Multiple layers. And then doing some erasing and picking out some highlights. And I'm going through these two different colors. And then if I need something to get brighter, then I'll come in and I can use the electric eraser. If I want to put a highlight right there, I can just come in and just hit that. See that? Just tap. I can take a harder eraser and like really just carve an edge. And really those reflections start to come out and you'll start to see how round and radius that looks. Let's get to, you know what, this is a little tedious and I think it's putting everyone to sleep. Let's get up here. I want to do something that's a little bit more of a wow. So we can come into here. I'm going to get into, I think, there we go. I'm going to get into manual. I'm going to get this focused in. And really try to hit this. There we go. Okay. Alright, we're going to do this kind of this crown up in here. So, it's basically bolted to the back of the skull and it's floating like a halo. I'm sure there's a name in the verse for it. I don't know it. But I'm going to pop these off. I'm going to shade those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shade it with my espresso shot, and then I'm going to tint it and warm it up with the dirty penny. So this is going to cause a shadow. So we're going to hit that nice and hard right there and get a shadow on all of these. We can go right around. Let's get those established. Same thing here. It's behind the skull. So the skull is going to have an established shadow. And then we got core highlights and core shadows. I'm going to be saying that a lot. And if you don't know core highlight, core shadow, we talked about it in the Basics 101 video. Basic cylindrical shading. When you look at your airbrush, see this darker at the bottom? Sorry. See how this is the core shadow. It's darker across the bottom. And up time, that darker line that's going across, that's basically your reflection line. And your core highlight runs down the center. Okay. Yeah, the FBS sheets work really well for it. So, there's a core shadow on one side. And we'll give it a reflection on the other. These are pretty simple. And there you go. Cheese grits, what's going on, man? There's a little knob here, same thing. Work our way through it. We can check this, see what it looks like from the side. No, doesn't look. Okay. So now we're going to get hit here. Keep your shadows consistent. I'm putting my heavier shadows on this side. Lighter reflection on this to kind of create that knob. Nice and easy. And now I'm going to pull this whole area here. And there's an antenna that runs up in the middle. Okay, so there we go. So if you look where we're at, there's an antenna that runs up. We just pulled this. And we'll give it a metal look. And it's angled. So this drop shadow here from this antenna is not going to go straight down. It's actually going to go in an angle like this. Just like that. Because the way it's being light's cast towards it. It could be below it too. It just depends how you want to see it. Really simple. I'm going to go around the edge. And just hit that. And I'm going to give it just a couple little reflections. Like there's some images reflecting out of it. That's going to be the kind of, that's the bottom side. So that's darker. And now these spikes come up. So remember, I got my dark side. There's shadows heavier on this side. So these are going to be the darker side when on a vertical. And then the lowers are going to have the darker side. So we can pull all these off. Pull each one. So it's going to be darker. Now this side's going to be darker because the light's coming top down. When you're doing stuff like this, understanding light source and position is really the key to keeping the effect believable. Like I said, because my shadow is heavier on this side, I'm going to make this side the darker of the vertical, but it's not going to be as dark as these, okay? Because it's catching some light. So I'm going to give that like 1, 2, 3 passes, say. Just light. I'll hit it heavier down here. Now this is going to have a little bit of pass. This is going to have a little more. It's going to have a little more. These can have the most. Same thing. All the way up. And I'm also going to, that's still the espresso. I'm going to bring in the dirty penny here. And give it a little orangey tint to everything. But so notice how this one's a little brighter at the top. These are darker. And I can hit more on the edge. Okay. So now it's kind of a game. I'm not going for anything. I am going to pull the main. And we'll tint that right around here so these tops will stay really bright. You can practice by using paper. They actually make, you can get an ink pen for it. They make ink inserts that go instead of the blade. You don't want to be cutting, I mean, you can just use paper if you want to cut paper as a stencil. Regular paper is a little too thin, so I would go get some cardstock, some heavy paper. Go to Staples. I use that all the time for making stencils. I just use like cardstock paper. See how that's got a nice 3D angle? Oh, I get it. Alright, so now I can come across. I'm just going to go, basically like these are reflecting. Then I want to make sure this top stays lighter than the bottom. We'll give it a nice little mist. See how it's really got that three-dimensional hit? Now you start to see that reflection. See that? How dimensional that looks? And from a distance, you're already starting to see how it's floating. Oh, see? I thought I had these cameras all perfect today, and I didn't. Oh, reflective's a pain. Let's go back. Alright, now I'll pull these, and this will be the brightest. Now you'll really see that. It'll just, I don't think I'm going to put, I might just put a tap of paint in there. So that gives you a really nice idea of what this is going to look like. We can just shade a little bit, shade a little. Oops, there's a little piece here from the antenna. Yes, it is. It is popping. That's the benefit to candies versus transparents. Transparents, you'd start to lose some of the... It would still be very bright, dynamic, but candy, you get more of the natural pop. So see how that just oof, there you go, sorry. Really looks three-dimensional. Let me zoom out here. Now you can see what that's starting to look like. Maybe I can do this actually. Yeah, I'll put my easel down. So there's more light coming down on it. There we go. That might help a little bit. But yeah, that's the look I'm going for. You know, if you go to my store, I still have prints available of this piece. This is one, and this is borrowed items from this. This is a piece I did, back in 2019. I forget when I did this. It's a long time ago. This was the Steam Nouveau piece, and I've used some elements. I've used this ring and this, and I used a little piece of this in here, but nothing else. This is originally done on a brass plate. So it has the same reflective quality. This is a canvas print. This is the one I'm sending to you, Lindsay, that I got to get out in the mail next week with everything else. But this it's also offered in a metallized plate. But the original is done on a similar material, so it has that same look. That one's in my living room. Yeah, it's definitely starting to pop, which is what we want. Alright, now we go, let's see what we got. Alright, so from the side, let's zoom in, let's get a little bit on the light side here. Yeah, I can't get it to all look great for you guys. Yeah, we're going to go flat down. It's going to be hard for me to paint, but it's going to look way better on camera. Alright, so let's get in here. Alright, so I'm going to work from the lower up. Actually, what I want to do is this piece here. This looks really cool and how fast this goes together. So see how this looks round? It looks cylindrical. When you look at this, it's just stacked rectangles. That's all it is. Alright, so before I do it, I just gotta hit these bars, which is fine, because see, I'm gonna hit this, which is that section that goes up, which right here, it's the rear section. I'm gonna hit that. You know, I go back and forth. Sometimes I like, some projects I like an X-Acto. Some projects I like my pick tool. This has a lot of really delicate small stuff. So, and it's flat, it's easier for me to get this tool in here. You know, I mean, to get the X-Acto. And like, see, I need a shadow there, so I'm just going to use my pocket graphics. So I'll just hit that. And we'll just set that up behind there. Now I'm going to pull this. And we'll hit you. There we go. Alright, so now, so see how this looks radius, but this is just a bunch of rectangles. I'm just going to work up the line. I'm going to pull this far one out. We're just going to hit it. And hit it darker towards the bottom. I'm going to hit darker towards the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to come into this side. And same thing, just like this one. Coarse shadow down here. Reflection line up here. And now we gotta make sure each plane is casting a shadow. And it starts to get radiused. If you want to get a highlight, I can take the soft eraser and I can make it a little brighter right there. And then move to the next ones. I can move to this one. I can actually move to both. See? Now I can go up and down. The skull's casting a shadow. And then we do our core shadow towards the bottom, core shadow. Oops, I gotta keep getting my head out of the way. And there you go. Now it starts to look radiused. Same thing. Heavy shadow. Reflection. Now it looks radiused. Make sure we hit enough here. And the last section there. And then we'll move down to here, and these legs will be done. I'll go move to the center. Because I got to get the center done, because the center spline so my best thing is, yeah, use what you're most comfortable with, but have both tools, because sometimes this works a lot better. This is less likely to scratch the panel when I go to dig in. So if you can get the piece hooked with this, you're going to scratch the panel less. The X-Acto blade, you want a tendency to make little pick marks in it. Like when I look in this, I can see those little, well, they're not anymore. Those are actually highlights, but like there's some pick marks that you can disguise a little bit as like highlights. You know, Facebook's so useless. One person over there. So, no, even if you guys are on Facebook, go to share this thing out to people. Maybe people just don't get notified anymore unless I pay. I don't know what it is. Alright, same thing. Core, shadow, right up here. We'll give it a little, like, hard reflection line. Come here, come down. And then I can go with a lighter color, warm it up. And there you go. Now you can start to see those two kind of motor, you know, servo arms. Yeah, so if you look, now I made these into highlights, but when you look at it initially, there were little pick marks there. So I kind of was more strategic. But like, so let's pick this out. So I can get into here and I can just pick underneath and it lifts it nice and easy. And leaves less of a mark. See? Whereas the blade can tend to leave a little pick mark right there and right there. So you do got to be a little bit more careful with it. The blade, I kind of come in from the side like this, like almost perpendicular to the surface, and just sneak up under it and try to lift. So we got a shade in here. There's a little bit of edge because I went out of order, so I just gotta make this edge a little darker. So this is the tedious process. So I often get asked, like, oh, you know, do this piece, do this piece. You know, I try to do pieces I can achieve a really good look live in like 2 hours to 3 hours, so you guys stay interested. This does get monotonously boring to watch. I know some of you guys like it, but from a viewer standpoint, this is less watchable. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. So many little pieces to this. And like there's an extra little detail there. I ended up not liking it, so I just not painting it. Just took it out. Now I got the crossover arm. Yeah, no, that can happen a lot too. I'm bringing this camera in a lot closer. Oh, there we go. That's a good shot. How's that? How about them apples? I can see how little this is. Steve! Get my dirt on. Okay, yeah, now you can see that a little bit better. All right, good. So now I'm going to pull, I get this, I'm going to work on both these. So I'm going to pull the outer on both these. Now I can pull this one. Hey, Brian, what's going on? I'm going to pull these inside guys. So just like when I did this outer rim, I left the rivets in so I can shadow underneath them. So I'm just going to actually paint on the rivet. Actually, I'll use the lighter. Thanks, man. So I'm going to paint on the rivet to do... Oh! I got to go above. Wrong way. Wrong, because it's got to be inset. So... Easy peasy. I'm going to erase those out. See that? No panic. Just fix it. So shadow above so it looks like it's inset. Shadow here, more towards the bottom, a little bit on top. What's going on, Astral? Astral, sorry. Darker color inside. It's times like this where I should have two hoses set up so I don't have to keep swapping. But when I'm working alone, it's not really noticeable. It's only when I'm trying to be a little faster for camera. Pull that. There's a little rivet there. Yeah, now you can really start to see. Let me see what the side by side shows up like. Oh, that's a good shot, yeah. So now you can see the difference in reflection depending on the angle of light. How just dynamically bright that is. So you definitely got to keep moving it around and looking at different angles, or you got to kind of miss what you're doing. See right there's a little glitch. I'm going to just use a stencil, use a hard edge, just shadow that away and then clean it up. Have you ever entertained the thought of using... I hate manifolds. My compressor has two regulators. I just don't have the two hoses set up. I have a manifold for my t-shirt setup, but even then, like, I used to use 12 airbrushes on a manifold with 12 hoses, and I got so sick of them being tangled that I went to the 12 airbrushes with 6 hoses, and it was just less, you know, got tied up listening to it. It's just more to deal with, more to maintain. On a production t-shirt stand, like when you're trying to make a lot of money and be fast, yeah, you want to use a manifold. For here, quick connect's fine. I should have a second hose here, could help, but I very rarely need it. So, I don't even bother. Like, it's really pretty quick to do that, and kind of, sometimes the switching gives you a second to catch your breath. Projects like this aren't really about speed. Manifolds are more for speed and efficiency than the art, really. The way I look at it. I think I used to have a 24 brush manifold back in the day. Then you imagine 24 freaking air leaks. Actually, so you got 48 air leaks, 50 because you got the into the manifold out to the compressor. So you got 50 joints to worry about. Yeah, so I just kind of stopped dealing with it. I got sick of it. Why am I not getting paint out of this now? I can't tell you how many times when I had the big manifold at the malls and the fairs doing shirts, you know, you'd work so fast. If you didn't work in the right sequence, you'd tangle your hoses, and you'd pull one and you'd pull the other one off. There we go. Ta-da! That whole leg side's done too. Now I got both legs, so now we can work up here. All right. Use 6 with 10. Yeah. It worked for me. Like I said, I used to do it, and then quick disconnects became so good in the mini quick connects that I didn't need that many hoses because it's just as fast to go click and go. Like I said, I should just have two. That one will stay in my primary, the other one will move, but it's personal preference at this point, you know. All right, so now I'm looking at this. So now I'm going to work from bottom up in this whole area, and I got to kind of pick here. These are not holes in this. These are joints off this stem. So it's like a vertebrae. So that's like the center vertebrae, and those come down to the side where your ribs would come off, basically what these are. So I just have to analyze what goes first and work my way through it. Like I can pull this whole section and out of the tubes. I can actually pull all this. Then I can work from here up and kind of meet in the middle. I'll finish up your time-lapse Tuesday. See, I got to start doing more recorded and start editing. Steve, you know what you got to send me? Send me that link, again, because I lost it, to the guy you learned DaVinci from. Hopefully you're still here. Okay, so now I can look at this final nub down here. Oh, the other thing we'll talk about, because I was, and I'm going to say this because it's true and not toot my own horn, I was one of the first ones that showed these in custom paint industry. The plastic razor blades. The really good ones. There's been shitty ones out for a long time, but I started using these over a decade, well, like 15 years ago, and showed them at the getaways and the rendezvous, and Coast started carrying them after I showed them. These are by Scrape Right. These are the best ones. There's a bunch of knockoff ones. There's a bunch of shitty ones out there that don't work as well. These are a really good plastic that come in different colors. So these are the other thing you can get under if you're having trouble and you scratch your surface. These you can dig. You know, you can dig at your panel with these, and you won't scratch it. I should just sell them myself in little packs like everyone else does. Like Limelight sells a version. I don't know if they're like these or they're just a cheaper version. They could be. I'm not 100% sure. I should just be doing that stuff, but I just don't have the time to like package stuff up every day and send it out. So like I said, these are great because you can just really get at everything. Ta-da. Now I did mess up earlier. I pulled this tube. So this tube should be cast or shadowed onto that, so I just gotta fix that with a little fine line tape. Yeah. So here we go. I can pull you. Like when you get in a groove, you can start pulling a lot of pieces, and it starts actually going pretty quick. So I can go here. We can hit that. We can go here. Drop shadow. Dirty Tricks razor blade pack. But for me, it's like, man, it's one more thing I got to manage, and I found it easier just to tell people where to go get them themselves and not try to make a buck off them. Okay, these are pretty far in the background, so they can afford to be pretty dark. Alright, I need big curve. Alright, so these are kind of screws, right? They're kind of threads. So I'm going to find something, and I'm going to just go right up the line and kind of... Oh. I gotta... You could sharpen a guitar pick. It'll probably crack pretty quick. So a nice little 1/8 inch line. Actually, it's a little bigger than 1/8. So I'm going to take 1/16 and make sure so I can overlap. Because I don't want to get a shiny peek through. I'd rather actually expose a little bit of the metal. So just a little example of how to bend fine line, a little pressure here on the bend, and work it right through, just like when I lay flames. Just how I used to do a lot of wires and stuff like that. This is how you do it. Can actually put you back here. Ta-da. So this is what I mean by you should know how to do it all ways. Oh, so I usually get, I order some neodymium, or I just get, sometimes I'll just go get cheap ones from Home Depot, these plastic ones. Oops. But like this obviously won't hold through the aluminum. These neodymium ones on a normal day, see, it's actually going through the aluminum panel and holding. So, there's some really good magnets out there. If you want to find an awesome source of magnets, this is in the tabletop gaming industry. There's a website we use for magnetizing our tabletop figures, and it's called is it the Baron? The Magnet Baron, I think is what it is. Hold on, I'll look that up. Yeah. So go to the Magnet Baron. Dude, this site has the best magnets, all different sizes, all different grades, mostly for like scale model. But they sell all different. They sell the proper drill bits with the right size magnets, with the right glues to glue them together. They have standoffs. They have like super magnets in all the different sizes. If you want to find magnets, this place is the shit. They even have the magnicators, so you know which pole, so you can grab the right pole and stick it on, so you stay consistent. So this place is awesome. Like, you can get this nice kit. Like, it has the right drill bits that meet the magnets. So, the Magnet Baron. I should put their link up. Okay. Now, if you don't want to use, like I was... If you're not using a stencil like this, you could use tape. I could tape across each one of it. But, I'm just going to work up the line. Again, this is simple. What do you mean I gotta charge that phone? I got over half my battery. I'm good. That's 9 o'clock at night. I'll be going to bed by the time it's dead. So yeah, I'm just gonna go up these screws, kind of make them look like they're threads. Simple, simple, see? There's another one there. And then from here, core shadow, and we'll go down, we'll just give it a little ripple shadow underneath all these, nice and heavy. Oh, who just snuck in the house? Hi, Willow. Hi, Mama. Go lay down. Daddy's working. Get that nice and dark. We'll warm it up. So watch. Now, before I get into the heavy drop shadows, this is a great time to use the eraser sticks. Because now I can come across and highlight. Oops. Let's go like this. So I'm going to take this and just sweep. So see, now I'm getting those reflection lines like it's a... like it's catching the top of these threads. There we go. Look at that. Okay, so now this tube will get shadowed. Little shadow underneath here, really heavy. To really create that lift, make sure we hit under this. Move my head back. Thanks, Brian. Really appreciate that. Okay, now I can pull these. Now you have some nice clean lines. There we go. So like here, I took this one off too early, so I'm just gonna, oh, that's way too hard. We'll fix that. Get that nice little tube coming out. Like, this is the pace I work on, like, an original painting. You know, that's why when I originally posted this up, I said this isn't going to be an expensive painting, or just like a quick demo. This is a full fine art piece for me. This is me really planning and thinking and doing everything methodically. I want to get to the skull tonight, so I want to make sure I get here. Shadow. And like I said, this is a lot of repetitive work. It's just coarse shadows and understanding your placement and where everything goes. But you can see, you can feel that lift. It's just, and you can see that grain. And you can't even, it's hard to even see. Underneath it, you have that laser etched, the Aquila, the symbol, which is this symbol here. So this symbol, if you don't realize it, is all etched into the background. And on certain lights, you'll see it. See it? See them? There they are. So it's almost a holographic effect. So from there, you don't see anything. When you walk past it, the light hits it, watch. All those symbols come up. Now, usually we'd call that a ghosting effect, but this isn't a pearl ghost. This is actually etched into the metal and engraved. So it'll hit from different angles and different ways. That's really the benefit to me doing this. This is the first time I've ever done it. It's something I've been toying with the idea of doing it since I got my laser cutter. I wanted to mix laser design into the etching and custom paint together for something unique. And this is the first painting I've ever done it with. So that might add a little value to it. Alright, so then we go here. Work my way through. Same thing. Rinse and repeat. Yes, like, share, subscribe, become a Down Dirty Tricksters. I haven't thanked my Down Dirty Tricksters. All you wonderful gold skulls. Thank you everyone for the support. You guys have been with me over a year. And the red skulls, I think, are almost down. I think Dawn, it's only like the last 4 or 5 people that have been, that I think the red skulls are 8 months or 9 months. So I want to thank you. It's kind of like a lithograph, but it's different. But yeah, exactly. And this is the first time I've done it. Like, lithographs are still kind of a reprint. This is using like a lithograph technology in an original painting. I don't know how you could sell something like that. Oh, I could sell damn near anything. No, this will have this. No, I don't think it'll have matte clear. I don't think it'll look good. Because the one I have, the other one I did on a brass plate, not copper, is gloss. And it looks amazing. And I remember when because I cleared it twice. I remember when I sanded it, and I did do a test with like 3000 to see what a satin would look, and I didn't like it as much. So now this will go gloss, or maybe a semi. I don't know. But I don't want to lose that reflection. I think a satin or matte, you might lose some of it. But, I mean, it looks really cool now, and it's kind of flat. It's more of a satin, so maybe that's going to be the key. Laser engraver really just works like a plotter. It's pretty similar. There's a lot more to it, but the files pretty much work the same. Like my original Steam Nouveau piece, that's the one that you can get the prints on this one. So if you like this style, you can get these prints reasonable. Like this is the canvas version of that. And then I have metallized. I think I have. I might be out of the metal prints, or I might have one or two left. But like these are affordable versus this original is a little bit bigger, and it's framed, and it's got a wood frame that's all decorated out. You know, that'd be a couple $1,000 piece to sell. Like I said, I'm really looking forward. This one, regardless if someone gets up to the reserve or not, it's going to come with me to Milwaukee to Adepticon because I want to put it. I want to display it as I'm teaching there. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, lithograph's been done a lot. This was just something I haven't really seen direct on metal and then painting direct on metal with the laser etching and then the candies and all the translucents to really maintain that. It's almost like a grind, you know, doing the ground metal technique, but not grinding. Cool. That looks nice. It looks good. I can actually. Yeah. Oh, before I do it, yeah, just get up in here, and then the skull will be towards the end. What are we at here? 9:30. Not too bad. I think we got a lot done so far in this hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, it's like acid etching. Yeah, that's right. So doing like the acid etch in photo etch. I thought about I've been wanting to get a photo etch system so I could do my own photo etch, like parts for models and shit, like out of brass. But it's a lot of chemicals involved. I'm not sure I want to mess around with too much. Okay, so I come up here, Actually, now we can take all this off. Like I said, I just wanted to do something different than just a basic paint. So I figured I'd try it. Mr. Leahy, I don't know if you caught me before. I don't know if I said it before you left. I need you to send me that link again of the guy you learned DaVinci from, because I need to get better at DaVinci. I need to get back on my video stuff. That's one of the other things I'm doing. In the next few weeks, I got a lot going on. I got taxes I got to get done. I know that's a dreaded word for everyone, but I got to get that done. I got the Adepticon show coming up, so I really need to get my tabletop mini game polished up. You know, as far as my painting skills. So I won't be doing any live feeds next week for sure. I'll keep you posted. It's going to depend on how well I get through my stuff, if I'm going to be doing the one week after. I'll still post some content. I'll get some other stuff up. I just don't know if I'm going to do a full new live feed. Or I might just, if I'm doing some tabletop practice, I might just do that. But I know I don't have time to think up a new project and get all that done. Ground control films, okay. Alright, so now like, there's a lot of little details and stuff I could have just I could have done extra cuts in here. But when I'm doing a plot file, I try to minimize some of my cuts. And just so I can freehand it in. Because I think that looks fine. Because I can always come in and take an edge and just make it crisper. Yep, a little too much there. Like, this whole unit here is actually a mix of a couple of things, but this section is off an old, it's like an old gas lamp thread that went together that had like a magnesium or whatever before that bulb. It was big. It was like a big electrical housing with threads. That's what this piece was, and then I mixed it in. And whenever I'm looking for like steampunky style stuff, I go through the old, like, early electrical industrial age and try to find interesting stuff. Which is pretty much the whole steampunk thing. It's just, you know, Victorian era kind of coming out of it and like using steam and I don't know, I'm not really explaining it well. But you can just see how it's getting kind of cool. Oh. But as you can tell, it's a very tedious project. So I'm going to leave this here because I think you get the gist of it. Let me get up into the skull and we can at least get him in. The most of, you know, a bunch of it in. Let's see if I can move you up. I did look at... The other night I found a remote control mount that you can put the camera to and basically do this stuff from a little joystick. I'm considering one of those next. Because I need more technology in my damn life. Right? There we go. That works. I like those angles. Alright. Let's get the skull, because everything's kind of... No. The strap. There's a strap here. Let's get this strap. That's going to be pretty dark. Again, this was a repurposed from my original Steam Nouveau. is I used the same monocle, but I turned it into a more computer. So if you look at the similarities and differences. So I used similar pieces, but I made it more of a mechanical monocle and put this box and venting and antennas and different stuff around it, and got rid of a more like, you know, a little gear adjustment. And then there's another little thing here, but I kept the strap and different skull, obviously. But there's a lot of you can see the influence in design. Pretty much, yeah. All right, let's get you. This is gonna be pretty dark. So we'll get you. Let's get a little leathery texture here. Have you done a lot of it? Oh yeah, I've done quite a bit of it. I have. This is a biomechanical brush set that's available on the store. So you go here to McKay Fine Art. I have a whole biomechanical brush set. So in Illustrator and Photoshop, you can make these tubes just with lines. You take a line, hit the brush, and it makes this tube for you. And you can make it thick or thin. So I do that. I've done quite a bit. There's a whole. I did a Createx video that's all Giger biomechanical style. And one of my prized possessions, and I'm going to see if I can do this here. So if you look over here, that is Giger's Future Kill. That is one of the original 1,000 prints that were done for the US release. And that is signed and numbered by Giger. So, that is one of my prized possessions. And I actually won that at auction off the old owner of Airbrush Action magazine. So, there's a little history on that. So, yeah, Giger's pretty influential. Alright, so let me go back. Here, there we go. Lock you down. Yep. Yeah, that's a very cool print. Yeah, I think it's number 924 out of 1,000 that were ever done. That was, man. Yeah, I hunted for years to find one because I saw a buddy of mine had one at his house, and I coveted that. I wanted that so bad. I was checking on eBay, and I found it. And what killed me is when Airbrush Action closed up, he had there's a red version of that. That's all splatter paint from Giger, and he had that in their bathroom. And man, I wanted that too, but I couldn't get it. And I almost got it to Brian Woodruff, who bought the magazine after, was gonna sell it to me, and then he passed away. So I never got it. Yeah, so like I've been doing design work and vector work since the early 2000s, actually a little bit before. So I have all those files. So it's like a toolbox. I can just open it up and pull stuff together. I get an idea. Like, you guys see the crow one? Like the bird, the crow ones I just did today. I've done so many crows in my career, I can kind of pull up a bunch of different crows. Airbrush Action magazine just went under. Basically, magazines are dead. The owner sold it. The two new people kind of couldn't keep it together because it was at the end. And then there was some lawsuit stuff, and then it just died. That was it. There's no saving it. It got a little bit run into the ground. The industry kind of moved away from magazines. And luckily, we still have Airbrush Art in Action. There's some other ones. Art Scene, Airbrush Art Scene. That are still out there, but yeah, it just kind of went away. It was a shame. It was one of the best magazines. And I was fortunate to do a lot of work with them. Okay, I'm going to do the strap. Oops. Get my bald head in there. And now I basically think it ended up in like legal, like limbo of who owned the rights to certain things. That's one of the reasons I can't do my plotter DVD. Died. I can't make it because I don't have the rights to reproduce it because I sold Airbrush Action Magazine, but Airbrush Magazine is defunct, but it's in limbo, so technically I don't own the rights to reproduce that anyway. So my plan is to do a newer, updated version of that. You know, a modern update with all the new, you know, illustrative techniques. It was a pretty old video, so. Nah. AI is just another really tool. I'm not that worried about it. I don't use it for art, but I do like ChatGTP because my ability to write sucks. And I'm never going to call myself a writer. So I don't mind using that tool. Pack rat for the win. Well, thank you, Steve, for telling us to save our files. Oh, dude, I have my stuff backed up so many ways. From photos that have been scanned, to online backups, to hard drives, to flop. I still got vector files on a freaking floppy disk. Well, 3 1/4, not the big 5-inch floppies. Bunch of you here don't even know the difference. Some of you guys do. There's some old timers, old bucks in the house. Yeah, I used to teach at the Getaways. It was great. Loved it. And I know Coast is finally settling back into the new location. I was actually talking with the guys the other day. I was talking with Ryan over there, and they're gonna maybe this year. I doubt, but they're talking about bringing the rendezvous back once they settle in because they do have room. They do have a big lot for parking, so there's a possibility that comes back. Or in some form. I don't think the big, like, 10 instructor rendezvous are going to come back, but they'll be doing some type of classes and workshops and things like that. All right. Yeah. So the one thing I do have, I got the Diamond disc from Airbrush Action Magazine. They had a disc that had all their issues, and it was up to pretty current. So I have almost all the issues on disc somewhere, and I got to look if my articles are in there. Because I think I could probably post up some of the PDFs of my articles that I did. Just, might just put them on my website just as a viewable. I still got to make sure that I have the right to do it. Some people are more litigious than others. Alright, so I've done skulls like this before. Michael Cohen, thank you, sir. Much appreciated. So, skull silhouette, paper cut stencil. I picked out the major details. Obviously, half the stuff's not going to matter because there's a lens in each eye, but some of the structure is going to be there, so we're going to just lay him in. I print it and cut it all size 1:1, so it all lines up. And now I can lay a lot of this in. There's where the teeth are. These are just registration, so I know where all the lines are. Fold that open. Fold this open. This one's pretty much, it's not bloxy. W. Ambrose Condon, welcome to the Down and Dirty Trickster family. Much appreciated. Go here. Get that. Okay, that eye's not going to matter. That's all behind. This one will roll him out. This is like my favorite way to do it. Just paper fold. Super quick. All my basic shapes are there. Now we can start to freehand the skull itself. And then we're getting towards the end. Not too bad tonight. This was good. I didn't think we'd get this. I'd get this far. I'm glad I did that preliminary work because we got to see all this. Oh, I never finished those. I never pulled these rivets. Just pop in. If you're worried about scratching, use plastic razor blades. That. Oh, this is the Takumi. This is the Iwata Takumi, which is the Micron SBs, which is their side feed, which is a 0.18 nozzle. And then the other one I'm using is a similar build, and it's the Eclipse, which is the Eclipse Takumi in the same configuration. The 600 bit gets you closer. Gets you closer. If that is an official, it gets you closer. It's just not quite where I want to let it go yet, but it's closer. I'll just put you in as a question mark on that. But yeah, so they make an Eclipse version, which is the same body size, so it's a lot smaller than most. But it's a side feed airbrushes, which are really delicate and nice. This is a 0.35. This is a 0.18. And then I grabbed one of these old beauties. This is the old HPA Plus, which has no bowl. It's just a little, you just put drops of paint in it. That's a nice little delicate brush. Oh man, the Takumi spray, the action and everything in here are just, they are like butter. I do have a couple custom CSs coming. So I wanted to do a video showing all the different Eclipse lines from the bottom feed BCS to the HPCS, to the Takumi, and the new re-release of the custom. So yeah. And like I said, this piece is really one of my major types of work. This is a big collector's piece, something I got days of work in, so. Letting it go is going to be tough. Spraying a 4x6 table. I need volume of paint. Yeah, if you're doing that, oh, I don't have, if you want an airbrush size, they make the trigger ones, which is a th2. That sprays very nice. But if I'm going that big, I'm going to go up. No, that's not a, you kind of can. It's not like a triple action handle, but. So you won't be able to buy this. I'm sorry, let me get back to the trigger. It's not like a triple action handle where you can just like pull the needle out. But you can undo the chuck and slide the needle out without taking the whole backside off. So it's not a quick release, but it is an easy release. And it's the different. It's got the double cutaway, which is a little weighted different. I have an old Olympus SPA. Yeah, the SPA I'm pretty sure is similar to the HPA. I think they were pretty much made the same way. Olympus and Iwata share a lot of patents, and they're pretty much were the same back in the day. And they're all, I think, distributed, manufactured with Iwata. Anyway, now. So to the files. So I'm going to be releasing a file set that's going to include a lot of these elements, but not this painting put together, and not everything that you see here. But it's going to have, these tubes are the biomechanical brush set, which is available now. Then these arms are going to be separate. There's going to be multiple variants of like the claw, the ends. I got multiple gas masks, multiple necks, big like headdresses. I got all sorts of stuff that's going to be part of it. That's going to be yeah. No, for something big. So back to Ambrose. I'd be using like the Iwata LPH 80 at minimum on a table, especially if it's like artwork related or you're trying to do textures and stuff. If I was going for a solid color, then I go to a full size spray gun. Like, I still love my LPH 400 for bases, and then my Supernovas I love for clears and candies. The Supernovas, and now the new Supernovas are insane. The Takumi has the smallest needle and nozzle. Yes and no. The Takumi Micron Takumi SB is the .18 with the shortest needle. The Takumi Iwata Eclipse is still an Eclipse. It's just a shorter body Eclipse in a Takumi body. Yep. If this does sell, will you still... Yeah, I still... Even if it sells, I still plan to bring it to Adepticon for display. It's be one of those things I just plan on not selling it, and I'll bring it to Adepticon and advertise it after that. So if you're doing diorama stuff, some mid-sized details, you definitely want to look into the Iwata TH2. That thing's a beast and a workhorse. I use it a shit ton. And step up from that, from the best universal spray guns for small to mid-sized projects, is the LPH 80, the Iwata LPH 80. Yeah, like this painting today, I think I already got 4 hours into it. Maybe 5 today. I forgot I was doing multiple things today. I did the crow bike as well. Busy day. Alright, let's get some texture. Use some texture effects. Just to get a little grit into that skull. I think I might be getting to the tired point where I might have to just stop and finish this later anyway. And we're almost 10 o'clock, so I'm not going to finish it tonight anyway. So like I said, I'm not going to do it a full feed next week. I will find time between now and next week, or maybe even just do one Monday night and do a wrap-up final on this. Because maybe what I can do is before Monday I can release the videos on how I did these pieces. And then just do a final on Monday. And that'll be my last feed for a week or so. Because I got to get ready for Adepticon. I got to start practicing my classes that I'm going to be teaching. And I just got to brush up on some skills because I don't want to look like a hack when I'm at Adepticon, which will be the first time I'm in that kind of realm teaching. So it's a whole new realm for me to be in. So I don't want to look like an ass. Like, what the hell is he doing here? He sucks. Because there are some tremendous talent at that event. And there was a few classes I was bummed I tried to get in. I tried to get into, I can't pronounce this last name. Tried to get into Victor's class. I tried to get into Ninjon's class, but me and him are teaching at the same time. Both of his classes run the same time I'm teaching, so I couldn't get in his. Some say that Scott has skulls. His eyes shut. I can do skulls with my eyes. Yeah. Hold on. Let's see. Can I do it? I'm gonna close my eyes. And we'll see. Alright. This is going to be way off, isn't it? Alright, now my eyes shut. Not too bad, actually. I stayed where I was supposed to. So I was completely blind. Do you plan on making TUP live? TUP. What is TUP? I don't know why. That's not hitting my head. Oh, drop into plastic. Yes. Sorry. I couldn't get registered for it, but I posted the thing on the Discord channel, and they said just show up, so I'm hoping to just show up and walk in and be fine. So I do plan. I'm going to be there till Sunday. I fly out. I'm there on Wednesday morning. Wednesday mid-morning I get there, and I'm there till Sunday. So I'm there for the duration. I'm there for the whole show. So yeah, we'll definitely have to hook up, man. I still don't know where I'm staying yet, but I'll find that out from Iwana this week. Do that again. Your eyes are closed. What if I do it small? Crossbones? Oh, the paint didn't come out. Oh, I'm about to do that again. Hold my beer. Yeah, I'm definitely planning on, I want to definitely come to that. Alright, I think that's a good stopping point. I got a lot done. I will definitely finish this Monday night. If I can swing it Monday, I think I can. I will do it Monday, and we will finish up the skull, the eyes, the electronics here, and this. I might finish this up ahead of time and record it. And what I'll do, if you're just gonna practice drills and stuff, like daggers and dots, any paper's fine. I tell people I used to get a roll of paper towels and just practice all your loops and brush control and stuff like that. You know, that stuff. You can practice on anything. If you want to practice like painting, that's a little bit more you got to keep around. You can get like some vellum or Bristol board or some things like that. That's going to be a little bit more robust. Or you can just practice on metal panels like this, and then if you don't like it, you just sand them off and repaint them. You know, it depends on what you're going to be painting on. So, I think that's it for tonight, kids. I think that was pretty solid. You know, once I finally dialed in all the camera angles and crap. And so, I want to thank everyone for the super chats. I like to thank everyone for the bids. And we will see where this ends up on Monday night. Unless I announce something sooner. But like I said, if I record this, I'll record the stuff off camera. And I did record this stuff here. I did record all these tubes and how I did them. So I'll get that up soon regardless. And then we'll go from there. So that was part 2. That was part 2 of the Servo Skull painting. And hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for some more. And we'll wrap this baby up and get it ready for Adepticon. Thanks for checking it out. Have a great weekend, everyone. And keep an eye out on my threads on social medias. Let me get all this stuff up for those who don't have it. Where is it? Oh my god. Oh, I miss having my daughter here. Here we go. So those are all my socials. Facebook, Instagram, Twitch I never use, but I got to start using it. TikTok, whatever. I put some stuff up there. I don't really do much on it. And then obviously YouTube here. So definitely keep an eye on everything. And don't forget, if you sign up and if you're a member, if you're into doing all the vector downloads or prints and stuff like that, you will get. Oops, that's a discount. If you're a Down Dirty Trickster, look at the information on YouTube for the code. You'll get 25% off anything in my e-store. And thanks for checking everything out. Peace. Have a good weekend. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and all that shit.